Alex Chen had always considered himself unremarkable. At 28, he worked as a logistics coordinator at a mining station on Europa, spent his evenings reading old science fiction novels, and harbored no particular ambitions beyond perhaps one day transferring to a station with better coffee. When the Krell warship appeared in Jupiter's orbit, blocking out the pale sun with its obsidian hull, Alex's first instinct was the same as everyone else's: pure, unfiltered terror. The evacuation sirens wailed through the station's corridors. Alex ran alongside hundreds of others, their footsteps echoing against metal walls as emergency lights painted everything in shades of crimson panic. The Krell had been systematically dismantling human outposts across the outer planets for 3 months. No negotiations, no survivors, just methodical, efficient destruction. Alex made it to the emergency pod bay, but the scene was chaos. People shoved and screamed. A child wailed for her mother. The pods were already launching, precious few remaining. Through the observation window, Alex watched the Krell ship unleash a beam of violet energy that vaporized the station's eastern sector in complete silence. That's when he saw her. Lisa Rodriguez stood apart from the panicking crowd, her dark eyes fixed on a terminal screen. She was one of the station's xenolinguists, brilliant and perpetually disheveled, always muttering about translation matrices and semantic patterns. Alex had shared exactly 3 conversations with her in the station cafeteria, each one leaving him slightly more convinced she existed on a different mental plane than ordinary humans. "Lisa," Alex pushed through the crowd toward her, "we have to go." She didn't look up from the screen. Her fingers flew across the keyboard. "They're not here to destroy us." "What?" Alex grabbed her shoulder. Another explosion rocked the station. "They're literally destroying us right now." "No." She finally met his eyes, and he saw not fear but fierce concentration. "They're searching. The attack pattern, it's not random. They're eliminating specific targets, command centers, communication hubs, but they're scanning everything first." "Scanning for what?" Before she could answer, the wall beside them exploded inward. Not from weapons fire, but from something cutting through, precise, surgical. A doorway opened where solid metal had been moments before. Beyond it, darkness pulsed with an otherworldly blue glow. Lisa grabbed Alex's hand. "Trust me, when they scan you, don't resist. Open your mind." "Open my..." Figures emerged from the darkness. The Krell were not what the military briefings had suggested. They wore no armor, carried no visible weapons. They were tall and impossibly thin, with skin that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. But it was their eyes that paralyzed Alex, swirling galaxies of silver and gold, ancient and utterly alien. The Krell moved through the pod bay with purpose, scanning each human with devices that hummed at frequencies that made Alex's teeth ache. Those scanned collapsed unconscious. The Krell stepped over them without interest, continuing their search. Alex's survival instinct screamed at him to run, but there was nowhere to go. When a Krell turned toward him, Alex did the only thing that made sense in his panicked mind. He raised both hands above his head in surrender. The Krell approached. Its scanner pulsed with light that penetrated Alex's skull, his thoughts, his very consciousness. He felt it rifling through his memories, his childhood, his failures, his dreams, the novels he'd read, the quiet loneliness he never admitted to anyone. He thought of Lisa's words, and instead of fighting, he opened himself to the invasion. And something extraordinary happened. The Krell's eyes widened. It made a sound, a harmonic chord that resonated through Alex's bones. Other Krell turned, their attention suddenly focused on him. Alex's vision swam. He felt himself falling, but strong hands caught him. The last thing he saw before darkness claimed him was Lisa's face, shocked and afraid. Alex woke to silence so profound it felt like physical pressure. He lay on a surface that conformed perfectly to his body, neither hard nor soft, in a chamber lit by sourceless light. His head throbbed with the worst headache of his life. "You're awake," Lisa's voice. Alex turned his head. The movement sent spikes of pain through his skull and found her sitting against the wall watching him. "How do you feel?" "Like my brain was run through a blender. Where are we?" "The Krell ship. We've been here for 6 hours. The station." She swallowed hard. "The station is gone. Everyone else is dead." Alex sat up slowly, fighting nausea. The chamber was circular, its walls covered in symbols that seemed to shift and rearrange themselves. "Why are we alive?" "Because they chose you." Lisa stood and paced, her scientific mind clearly wrestling with impossible data. "When they scanned you, something happened. The other Krell responded to it. They brought both of us here and then they just left." Left where?" "I don't know, but Alex, this room, it's not a cell. It's a command center. Look." She gestured to a central pedestal that Alex hadn't noticed before. It pulsed with the same blue light he'd seen in the corridor during their capture. Alex approached cautiously. The pedestal responded to his proximity, symbols cascading across its surface. Without understanding how he knew, Alex understood they were controls, ship systems, navigation, weapons, life support. The knowledge simply existed in his mind as if it had always been there. "What did they do to me?" he whispered. The chamber door irised open. A single Krell entered, but this one was different, smaller, older, with eyes that held unmistakable intelligence and something that might have been sadness. It spoke, and Alex heard both the alien harmonics and, impossibly, understood the meaning. "You are compatible," the Krell said. "After 3,000 cycles, a human mind proves compatible with the Sovereign's mantle." Lisa stepped forward. "The what?" The Krell's gaze never left Alex. "Our ships are not mere vessels. They are living entities, bonded to their captains through neural synthesis. When a captain dies, the ship enters dormancy. For 3,000 of your years, the Sovereign has drifted, searching. We searched with it, hopping to find a mind that could accept the mantle's weight. You've been attacking human settlements to find someone who can pilot your ship." Lisa's voice shook with anger. "We have been scanning. Those who resisted the scan suffered neural trauma. We did not intend harm, but desperation breeds imperfect solutions. The Sovereign dies slowly. Without a captain, it will soon expire completely." Alex's mind reeled. "And you think I can captain an alien warship? I coordinate supply schedules. I've never even piloted a shuttle." "The Sovereign does not require a pilot. It requires a soul willing to bear the burden of judgment. When you surrendered, when you opened your consciousness without resistance or aggression, the Sovereign recognized what we have sought across galaxies." The Krell stepped closer. "A mind capable of mercy in the face of overwhelming fear. A consciousness that chooses understanding over violence." Alex looked at the pedestal, then at Lisa, then back at the Krell. "What happens if I refuse?" "The Sovereign will die. We will return to our dying world. And your species will face the Drell in 3 cycles without the only weapon capable of defeating them." "The Drell?" Lisa asked sharply. "A scourge that consumes all life. They destroyed our civilization. Only the Sovereign fleet held them at the boundary. Now only the Sovereign remains, and it requires a captain." The Krell's expression, if that's what it was, conveyed genuine desperation. "You have been chosen not as conqueror but as guardian. The choice remains yours." Alex's hands trembled. He thought of the people who had died, the station destroyed. He thought of the novels he'd read, full of heroes who were thrust into impossible situations. He'd always imagined himself as the sidekick, never the protagonist. Yet here he stood, offered a burden he never wanted and couldn't refuse. He placed his hand on the pedestal. The connection was instantaneous and overwhelming. Alex felt the Sovereign's vast consciousness merge with his own millennia of memories, battles fought across star systems, the weight of 1,000,000 decisions. He felt its pain, its loneliness, its desperate hope. And beneath it all, he felt its purpose, not conquest but protection, not domination but defense. "Oh God," Alex gasped. Lisa caught him as his knees buckled. I can feel everything, the entire ship, it's alive, it's beautiful and terrifying and... Alex, Lisa's face swam in his vision. Stay with me. I'm here. He steadied himself, feeling the sovereign systems respond to his will. Power hummed through conduits. Weapons systems awakened. Navigation charts spanning galaxies opened in his mind. I'm the captain now. The Krell bowed, an unmistakably human gesture that seemed learned rather than natural. Captain Chen, the sovereign rejoices. We are at your command. Alex looked at Lisa, seeing her fear and wonder in equal measure. I didn't ask for this. No one ever does, she replied softly, but here we are. Alex turned to the Krell. Tell me everything about the Drell, and then tell me how we stop them, because if I'm going to be captain of an alien warship, we're doing this right. No more attacking human stations. No more imperfect solutions. We protect people now. All people. The Krell's eyes swirled with approval. The Sovereign chose well, as did its previous captain 3,000 cycles ago. She too was human. Alex's mind exploded with questions, but the Sovereign's consciousness steadied him. One crisis at a time, one decision at a time. He had raised his hand to surrender, and in that moment of vulnerability had inherited a war spanning galaxies. He looked at Lisa, found strength in her steady gaze, and accessed the Sovereign's navigation systems with a thought. Let's get started, Captain Alex Chen said. The Sovereign, after 3,000 years of silence, sang its approval across the stars.